This is DJ Dr. Chris.
And this is your favorite nurse practitioner, Bri.
Today, I'm going to be talking about why certain athletes seem to be injury prone.
And of course, we're about to finish up the pregnancy segment, y'all. Are y'all excited?
This is the last one?
I know I am. No, we have one more week, two more weeks, actually, but I probably won't be talking that last week.
And after that, I will pop up in a bottle and see what comes out. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, Bri, what's the word?
So, guys, are y'all excited as I am? This is 38 weeks pregnant. That means I am in the home stretch. We'll be able to talk about other things. Still message me if you have any questions, but this is more of a happy-go-lucky topic because 38 weeks, you were full term. Actually, 37, you were full term, but I made it 38, so it's even better. But now I can go into labor. And so just in case there's any pregnant mamas out there that are questioning or wondering, like, how do you know you're in labor or not? So there's different signs that your body is going to start telling you. So one, you can have contractions and not Braxton Hicks. These are supposed to feel different. So like you can have increase in the Braxton Hicks contractions. That's when your entire belly gets tight. These contractions feel more like menstrual cramps. That's what, everything I'm reading on the internet and my physician said. They're a little bit lower in your belly. And it's not saying you're in labor at that moment. What it's saying is your body is being prepared to go into labor. So like if you get one every 2 or 3 hours, you're not in labor. Your body, usually if you were getting them one, like 5 within an hour, that's something you should probably want to go to the birthplace or the hospital for. But if it's just like every once in a while, sporadically, just drink water, lay on your side, and it should calm down. Another fun little sign is the bloody show. So for people who didn't know what that is, pretty much you're going to have what it says, like just blood come out your vagina. That's another thing that will clue you in. It's kind of like a dischargey type thing. It's not like bleeding. It's not that severe. You can have back pain. Your water could break, which a lot of people don't realize when their water breaks is because they think they pee on themselves. I've been waiting for that. I'm like, did I just pee or did my water break? And usually it's me having to go to the bathroom. So no water breaking. I'm still perfectly pregnant at this point in time. Other early signs are your belly, the baby drops. So if you are carrying high, the baby will start transitioning lower into your pelvis. So you'll probably have decreased heartburn, decreased nausea because it's moving, he or she's moving down to where they're supposed to go. Your cervix will begin to dilate. You will have loose filling joints. I have that. Every time I walk, my hips and stuff pops. Diarrhea is another sign, which is just saying, again, the baby's moving into position, so it's not pushing on your intestines as much. Weight gain stops. And then you could have fatigue and nesting. So you could be exhausted, but you feel like you have to go to the grocery store. You have to clean the house. You have to do all this stuff because your body is preparing you for a new little bundle of joy.
Didn't you just get back from the grocery store just now?
I did. I just got back from the grocery store and I've been making Michael clean with me. So
you like painted the baby's room and everything. So you're
the baby's
totally in
room
the nesting phase.
I'm waiting on one more rug to come in. And then we have a picture we have to hang. And once we do that, I'm not going to be done, but I'll be able to calm down and he won't be so sick of me.
So you're in that final stretch. I remember when Juliana was pregnant and Sophie just did not want to come out. So she was past her due date and we did some massage. I actually bought her a massage. Then she tried acupuncture because all that stuff can help induce pregnancy. And her mother was staying with us. There was one night where I set the tent outside and fans and lights and put on soft music, and myself and her mother gave her like a 2-hour massage. Like she had like 4 hands on her for like 2 hours just trying to stimulate, and nothing worked. We had to finally induce.
If I'm pregnant next week, I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
I'm hoping the baby comes at the end of this week, but next week I'm fine with.
Oh, I'm excited.
But ways to induce pregnancy. I'm going to talk about natural ways you can do so. That'll be my
Okay,
top
cool.
tip for next week.
Cool. If she doesn't come.
We can do it at the hospital. And I also thought, which I want y'all to give me a heads up if you want to hear this or not. I thought about videotaping, not my actual birth, because I really don't think anyone wants to see that, but the progression from early labor into like the transitional stage, like everything up until the baby comes out my vagina. Because like I said, some stuff should be kept a little private. And then we can put it up on Chris's YouTube channel, or we could do it on Instagram, but Instagram only lets you do so much. So you just send us messages and let me know what y'all think.
Oh my God, just remind me of another story. We're talking about watching the delivery. I think I've told you this story, but I'll tell the listeners. So when my wife was, in the hospital, the nurse that was attending us, she knew I was a physical therapist and knew I was interested. I wanted to see the delivery. My wife was like, not a chance in hell. You're not watching. So anyways, I'm holding one of her legs up. Her mother's holding the other one. She's, the baby starts to crown. And so I'm kind of cradling Juliana's leg, right? And the nurse goes, hey, look, Chris, it's crowning, right? So I turned to look, and Juliana must have felt like my body position change a little bit because I was holding her leg. And she was like, no. And she took her foot and slapped my face with her foot. The nurse was dying.
You were not looking down there. That's the same thing I said to Michael.
Yeah. But I got a peek, and, people think it's going to like change your perspective. No, I thought it was really cool. So whatever. But the nurse was dying. She's like, I'd never seen that before.
She's in the middle of a contraction and then slapping you in the face. That woman is multi-talented.
Oh yeah. Yes, she is. Too much so. So
all right, Chris, what's going on in the rehab corner?
Okay, totally shifting gears here in the rehab corner. So it is Sunday today. I've got the TV on. I'm watching football. It's fantasy football season for me. I'm in first place, which is a rarity for me. So I've got my eye on the injury list because that's always a big thing. And then, I was watching a game the other day, and they're like, oh, so-and-so is injury prone. It's like this horrible label they get, being injury prone. And I started thinking about it. I was like, what does that really mean? Is it just a position? Like, I started doing a little research, and the obvious thing was like, oh, running backs get more injured than quarterbacks. And it's like, well, of course, because they're just doing a lot more contact. So then I dove into some of the research, went to PubMed and Google Scholar. By the way, those are great tools. A lot of people like to shout, oh, do your research, which usually just means Google it. But really the thing to do is go to Google Scholar or PubMed. Those two are probably the best resources to find actual peer-reviewed research. Anyway, so I was also talking to one of my colleagues, Scott McNulty, because he's in my fantasy league too, and he's a therapist. And I was like, what do you think this whole injury prone thing is? And he was like, well, I'm guessing it has something to do with collagen, connective tissue, some people more lax than others. I've also, in my practice noticed that certain people have what I would call like a collagen profile. Some people are just more mobile, some people more stiff. So yeah, I dug into research, and what I found was it seems to be very genetic. So let me back up. So there's 3 types of collagen that I'm kind of interested in. There's more than 3, but the 3 that I'm going to kind of highlight are type 1, 2, and 3. Type 1 collagen is tensile strength. So that's stuff like tendons. Like tendons need to be able to withstand tensile forces. Type 2 is compressive. So that's the stuff you'll find in cartilage. It deals well with impact. And type 3, that really is the type that creates structural integrity for your walls of your arteries and veins. And actually, there is a vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is when they have this misrepresentation of the COL3A1 gene, which is the one that encodes for the type 3 collagen. And they end up developing weakness have weakness in the arterial walls, which can lead to aneurysm, which can lead to stroke. And it's pretty serious stuff. So an Ehlers-Danlos represents itself in a lot of different ways. There is just general hypermobility. It can be very difficult to deal with, but so that's what the COL3A1 gene can do. And then there's a COL1A1, which that's the one that produces the tensile collagen. And what I found was about 20% of the population have a mutation in a positive way, where that COL1A1 gene is able to produce better type 1 tensile collagen. And these people seem to be less injury prone. And even 4% of them have like a double fold representation because of an allele that really goes down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to go there, but about 4% of the population have this like extra dose of tensile strength, and they have reduced rates of ACL tears, rotator cuff tears, Achilles tendinopathy. So it seems to be working for advantage. So I think what I'm really seeing is some people have an advantage, and all the rest are just normal injury prone. The other thing too I want to mention is that type 3 collagen, it does do the arterial wall thing, but it also has a role in wound healing, and it's basically like an undifferentiated collagen. So in other words, you wound yourself, and then the type 3 starts to lay down, and then over a period of healing, the maturation process, some of that gets remodeled into type 1 collagen. So another study I found, there was polar skiers that had this misrepresentation of COL3A1, had an increased likelihood of ACL tears. So there is association between the COL3 and COL1A1. So in other words, if the type 3 is not doing its job, it probably won't even turn into your type 1. So you're kind of setting yourself up for a little disaster. So this really brings up a big question about genetic testing, because now we can test for these things. And
I was just about to ask, like, how do you know which collagen you have? And like, I know you can do genetic testing for like different connective tissues disorders, but no one really does that unless you have an injury. And then they're like, oh, but why did this happen? But just like someone normal that doesn't really go to the doctor, like, how would they know?
Yeah, well, it's like you have all those types of collagen. Everyone has all those. It's a question of how much is that gene that encodes for that collagen. How well is it working? They kind of always liken genes. It's like a light switch. It's on or off. I think it's like a dimmer too. You can have somebody produce more type 1 because their gene is doing a better job, I guess you could say, in producing that type of tensile collagen. So so it brings up a philosophical question. It's like, okay, we can test for this stuff. We can see what type of genes you have and how they're working. But then what? What do you do with that information? In fact, there was a law in Pennsylvania, I forget what it's called, the Preservation Act or something like that. So if any athlete has shown any signs of any kind of cardiac arrest, they have to stop playing their sport until they're medically cleared. All right. So that means like a physician or a nurse practitioner have to clear them. And right now, a genetic counselor is not on that list. But what happens if they do become on that list and they say they can test for the gene and say, well, this person's at a high risk for cardiac arrest, because that goes into that type 3 stuff, because that's the arterial walls. Is that person doomed to not play sports? So that can be real tricky territory. But so, what I think, with the cardiac stuff aside, with some of the joint hypermobility stuff, the type 1 tensile weakness, I think really what matters is strength. So at the end of the day, your muscles hold your skeleton together, and sort of the passive system, like the ligaments of our body, that's a secondary line of defense in my mind. So if you're nice and strong, you don't even have to get to that secondary line of defense. So that's why, like all my athletes, I really emphasize strength, not flexibility. There are certainly times where someone's missing some range of motion, can't perform a certain movement, like a squat, for example, because they're missing ankle range of motion. Okay, then you need to work on range of motion and flexibility. But the majority of my athletes, I'm just strengthening. So
that makes sense.
Yeah,
that does make sense.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat. That's more stuff that I feel like we need to research a little bit more, go a little bit more in depth with, because like not everyone knows about the collagen. I can tell you that right now. I have patients that come to me with a lot of arthritis issues and stenosis, and they're trying to figure out how to keep stuff loose and not be so stiff. And I recommend taking collagen supplements. But I also don't go that in depth with them, which that could be something they could look at.
Yeah, I wonder if you can even, when it goes to arthritis, you're talking about wearing away of cartilage. That's a type 2 collagen. I'm wondering if there's ways to supplement or even make dietary changes to sort of optimize how much your body can produce the type 2. I mean, we definitely know there's dietary choices that sort of help erode, like processed sugars and vegetable oils will help erode cartilage. But yeah, I wonder if there's a way to optimize. I think we'll find all that out in probably the next 5 to 10 years.
Sounds fun.
All right, I'm ready. Are you ready? Well, are you ready to watch me?
Well, I'm watching you, but I'm drinking a mocktail today, y'all.
All right.
Because I'm not half asleep.
Was
So
that
it's
orange
pretty
juice?
much sparkling water and pineapple juice because I'm
Wow.
trying to kickstart this labor.
So fancy. All right,
So
well, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, Bri. So questions? You want questions first?
Yeah, we can do questions first. And then we can do, oh no, let's do restaurants first.
Okay.
And then we'll do questions and then we'll end with the good news of the week.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, I'll go first. So I was in Miami last weekend, and Miami gets a kind of a bad rep. I think it's an awesome city, and it's really developed. And actually, since the pandemic and lockdown, there's been a lot of New Yorkers that have moved down to Miami, and it just opened up tons of amazing restaurants, especially the Wynwood area, the art district. So cool. But anyways, the place I went to, I want to highlight, is called Chotamate. It's a Chottematte. So that's in South Beach, actually. And my old roommate, Miguel Blatt, one of my best friends, he's the general manager there. So we went there to visit him, and he totally took care of us. He was great. This restaurant, though, you got to look it up. It's absolutely beautiful, stunning inside. Like you walk in and there's like these white orchid, or no, white, I don't know what they're, cherry blossom trees, maybe. I don't even know. Gorgeous, and like uplit with these red lights. And then the center bar has this like big rock formation, and then the roof above it kind of opens up to the open air. They have this big door that rotates and swivels open, and great music. And the food was absolutely fantastic. So it was Japanese, Peruvian. That was the mix, a really eclectic blend. And everything we had was just mind blowing. So highly recommend that place. It's not cheap, but it's
I was
really
like,
good.
I probably won't be going to Miami anytime soon, but when I do, we will try it out.
Yeah, that place is awesome. So what do you got for me?
So I'm trying to think how many weeks ago it was, but y'all met Lance. He came down, moved down, and he wanted to go to brunch. And we usually go to the same old brunch spots all the time. So Natalie, Lance, Michael, and I, and then his friend Monica, we went to this one place called the Hangout by Two Guys. So Two Guys, oh yeah, y'all came, but I had left by that time.
Yeah.
But Two Guys, they have a catering business, and then apparently they decided to open up a restaurant, and we literally had the best time. So I want to give a shout out to them. Family owned, brothers, parents work there. The hostess, wait staff, bartender. I could not drink, but everyone around me were having mimosas, bottomless mimosas. They're doing shots. The food was good. We had pizza, and they have like brunch food, like French toast, 2 different types of French toast. So their menu is really cool and laid back. And so like now it's football season. They're starting to transition to the whole football kind of atmosphere. But if you want to go to a place that has live music, DJ, just chill, but not like too chill, that's just a fun bar, but a restaurant with good food, try the Hangout. It is on, I think it is on Pine Ridge.
Yeah, like Pine Ridge and Livingston, right?
Yeah, Pine Ridge and Livingston.
Or wait, is that
near
airport?
the Target. That's how I tell people.
I think that's actually Pine Ridge and Airport.
Pine Ridge and Airport.
Yes.
Because it's near Target. But we had the best time. So what happened was we got there at like 12. Of course, me being pregnant and with all these drunk people, I was like, I gotta go. I'm sleepy. I need a nap. Guess who shows up after I leave? DJ Dr. Chris decides to come with his family and finish up the day with our friends. So they pretty much stayed there the whole day, and they did not get sick and tired of them. So that was great.
Yeah, I'm not going to call anybody out individually, but it was very clear that a good time was had.
So
let's just put it that way. Nice.
Perfect.
Very nice. Okay, are you ready for some questions?
I'm ready for some questions.
Let's see how sharp you are today. So this these are meant to be multiple choice ones, but the first one, I'm not going to give you the multiple choice. I'm going to make you guess. So, which great invention allows people to look through a wall?
A window.
Darn it. You got that so easily.
I was like,
that's exactly it. All right. Which of these words doesn't have a rhyming word? Apple, cone, silver, lead.
silver.
Okay, so cone and lead, I think everyone can figure out what rhymes to that. What rhymes to apple?
Snapple.
Is that a word or a product? Does that count?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Snapple.
Is there any other words you can think of?
Snapple.
Grapple. Okay.
Grapple.
Yeah, you're right.
Silver.
Oh, you're right. Silver. You
Yeah.
got it. Okay, you got one more. Let's see which one I want to do. Which of these can help you purify water? A, adding sodium chloride. B, boiling it. C, add volcanic rock. Or D, salt it.
Salted. It's salted. That reminds me of a joke. Boiling water would help purify it.
God, you're good. 3 for 3 today. But that does remind me of, I don't know what I was talking about. I think we're talking about Thanksgiving turkey, and you're like, do y'all salt?
It was, I don't know. I was like, that's what I was like. That's like, did you salt it?
Salt. I was like, what?
Did you what?
You said it like sought, like SOUGHT. Do you salt it?
Did you salt it?
Sometimes the South and it comes out, it's hilarious.
It comes out very heavy.
All right. Well, 3 for 3. That was awesome, Bri.
It must be the pineapple juice.
Maybe it's just like 9 months of not drinking. You're sharp as a tack right now.
my neurons are firing on full cylinders.
Nice. All right. Well, you got some good news for us?
Yes, of course I have good news. There's so many, like lately, I feel like it's been very positive with certain things. And of course, there's always that other thing, but first I want to say something. Have you heard about that volcano erupting?
I think I read a headline. Where did it happen?
Off the Canary Islands.
I haven't really read into it. What happened?
Oh no, I was just asking. I'm very I love volcanoes. I think they're beautiful. They're like nature's most, like one of the most devastating things that nature can do. But there's still a beauty about the volcano, because after it erupts and once the lava cools down, you can still have life afterwards. Trees, plants, flowers can still grow through the ashes. So there's just like a kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like nature's way of replacing itself. That's why like Hawaii is so beautiful. This, it has eruptions, and then all that ash is like pure carbon, which is like perfect for soil, and everything just blooms right out of it. Just hopefully it doesn't cause a lot of death. Actually, I got to go to the Big Island in Hawaii, and we camped on a volcano, and it's so cool. You can just like walk up and see lava. It's really cool.
We because my brother lives over there, and like they take you on tours. You can like go near it. That one actually did erupt, but that type of lava was different than the type of lava that's happened at the Canary Islands. And there was another place where a volcano erupted a couple of years ago, around the same time Hawaii did, because Hawaii's lava is slow and steady. It doesn't spew up. It just overflows. And then there's this trail or anything in its path is going to destroy, but it's not like the spurts where they're spurting lava rocks out. And that is what kills people the most. Now, the people that decide to stay and not leave their house, if you're in the path of the lava, there's not a way to like predict the lava is going to go, to the left. So people on the right, that shit could just be like, and then just take everything on that side.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But going back, I was reading about the Canary Islands, and this is not like I guess it is good news, but not like a crazy news. But they were saying, like, speaking of paths of lava, so the volcano erupted, is pretty much is devastating. Um, like the area right now. But there was one little house that stood, and I'm trying to figure out. I wish I could show y'all a picture. I may put it on Instagram. So the lava was coming down. They thought the house was going to be destroyed. And all of a sudden it split, came around the house and connected again and kept going.
Wow, that's crazy. Let's see. There's an island called Pitcairn Island. I think that's one of the Canary Islands. Is it? I don't know. Regardless, I want to kind of tell the story because I think it's really cool. So there's this movie, it was documentary. Well, that wasn't a documentary. It was a movie I watched called The Mutiny on the Bounty, and it was based on a true story. It took place in like the spice trade days, where these sailors, I think they're English or Dutch, I can't remember. Anyways, they landed on Pitcairn Island, and basically they had a mutiny. I think they killed the captain or something like that, because all the crew wanted to stay there. They all like married it, like all the indigenous people, and they just stayed there. And it's crazy because still to this day, there's this population of like these white people and indigenous people. And there's like, it's like a town of like 38 people that still exists. They're all direct descendants of this whole mutiny. So it's really interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. You can actually go on Wikipedia and see a picture of like the whole town. And it's like, oh, those are the white ones. Those are the indigenous ones. It's really funny, but they're actually really good movie too. I think it was Anthony. Oh shoot, what's his name? Who's the guy who was in Silence of the Lambs? What's his name?
What?
Who's the actor? Silence of the Lambs. Anthony.
Oh the only thing that's popping up in my head is Anthony Bourdain. This think it's because I'm hungry.
No. Oh, jeez. I can't remember. Silence of the Lambs.
Clarice
Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, he was the captain. So great movie. Check it out.
Perfect. Well, I feel like that kind of took up the good news. That segment. I don't know why that popped in my head, but I was just like, I'm interested in it right now.
Good news, lava.
It's the lava. But the house was spared, so that is good. I'm happy for those people.
All right, good, cool. All right, unless there's anything else, I think it's time to wrap this one up.
I do too. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram again. Like I said, if you have any questions, message us. Let me know if you actually want to go through the birthing process with me, from like not everything, but most of it. And y'all, we're on the final countdown. 2 more weeks.
Well, maybe by the time the next podcast comes out, there's going to be a little critter making sounds in the background.
A critter. So if you have another long break, it's because of me. That means I went into labor. But look for a special edition.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Bri, it's been a fun one. I'll talk to you. Well, I guess I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Do you have unexplained pain? Or do you wonder just how healthy you are? When was the last time you had your blood tested? Blood chemistry analysis is a great way to stay ahead of any health conditions, and now you can have control of your health with Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked is an incredible company that sends blood tests to your home. You can choose from over 30 different tests, whether that's liver function, testosterone, micronutrient, cholesterol, or C-reactive protein, which is a marker for inflammation. It's sent to you with free shipping, and you get results in 2 to 5 days, no physician referral needed. Use the code DPT20 for 20% off. Go to letsgetchecked.com and use the code DPT20.